On this week's episode of The Atlas Life, we talked to an ER nurse by the name of Shaughn Whittaker. Shaughn came to us through Stephanie. Stephanie is his recruiter here. Do you want to introduce him?
Yep. Welcome, Shaughn. Shaughn came on board with us about 3 months ago. He applied to Atlas directly, and we kind of hit it off from the get-go. He is originally from Florida, which I'm totally jealous of because we're stuck here in Nebraska. But he's an ER nurse working for us in Maryland. Everyone raves about him. They want him to stay. They love him. He's ready to travel the country. So,
he's ready to go then.
Yeah.
Awesome.
We're ready to get him out there.
Well, Stephanie, thank you. Thank you for bringing Shaughn to us. And Shaughn, welcome to the Atlas Life.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Shaughn, welcome to episode 4 of the Atlas Life. It's great to have you on with us today.
Thank you. Good to be here.
So I just talked to your recruiter, Stephanie. You're an ER nurse and you're up in Maryland right now. Is that correct?
Correct. Yeah, I'm working in Maryland, staying in DC.
Staying in DC. How's that?
It's been food-wise amazing, wonderful.
Obviously all we get is, in the Midwest is politics out of DC. I mean, what is DC like outside of that?
I mean, being up here, I don't actually get a whole lot of politics, believe it or not. It's been very politic neutral. I don't get a lot of Trump. I don't get a lot of Hillary. I don't get any of that stuff. It's been actually fairly laid back for being a big city, minus the traffic. It's pretty easy going.
So is the traffic rough? I mean, is it more DC proper or is it like out into Arlington and that area?
The traffic will get rough. I'm lucky enough since I'm staying in DC. I kind of go against the grain of the traffic. So in the morning, I head out into Maryland when everybody else is heading into DC. And then in the afternoon, it swaps out. I'm actually kind of in northwest DC, kind of by Silver Spring is where I'm staying.
Gotcha. Okay. So then when did you start traveling? I know you're from Florida originally. Is that correct?
From Central Florida. Yep.
Awesome. So when did you start traveling? Kind of why did you start?
So I started, actually this time last year was my first assignment. And I went to North Carolina for my first one. And a lot of it was just me and my wife talking and kind of deciding whether or not Florida was where we wanted to be in the long run. And we were like, hey, what better way to decide or get an idea of where we want to be than to go spend 3 months at a time somewhere.
Awesome. Does your wife travel with you then?
She hasn't for the first couple here, but starting the next one, she's gonna go with me.
Awesome. And then is she a nurse too or no?
She's a teacher.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. So then you're in Maryland now. Like what's next on your list? Like if you could go anywhere and, like your dream assignment, like where would that be?
Dream assignment? Well, I've always wanted to do like the Portland, Oregon area. Like I think that one is like my top of my wish list. But Vegas is another one. Can't really beat that.
That would be.
So those two I think are my top right now.
Vegas, I love Las Vegas. Like I really, vacations there and stuff. We go to TravCon every year. It's a lot of fun. I have a feeling I couldn't stay very long in Las Vegas.
I mean, I've never been, but just like anything else, it's just for the experience of.
Yeah, absolutely true. And I think, if you go visit Vegas on the Strip is something completely different than downtown Las Vegas or, metro Las Vegas, I guess is probably completely different. It'd be interesting. We have a lot of hospitals there. So, I mean, there's a lot of opportunity.
I mean, my biggest thing is I love food, and I know that Vegas is definitely a place to go eat.
Let's skip ahead to that question then, because I like to ask that question. Because I like food too. When I go someplace, I want to try different stuff. I especially like the coast, seafood. The seafood in Florida is fantastic. I can only imagine how good it is there in Maryland. Like, give me some ideas of good places to eat, what you've eaten while you're on contract up there.
So actually, one of the like my favorite like low key places to eat has been a pub in Baltimore called Annabelle Lee Tavern. So it's like called Edgar Allan Poe theme place, all set up like that. But probably the best crab cakes I've ever had in my entire life are there.
Excellent.
So,
I'm sold already. Like that sounds. We can't get it here in the Midwest. I mean, I complain. We have great like beef and chicken. Like it's great here, but I love seafood. So,
oh yeah,
I'm very jealous of what you got. At least there in Maryland. So, have you gone to any of those like where they have the big pots and then they dump them on the table and then you eat all the on the table?
Or like the crab bakes or crab broils or whatever.
Yeah.
No, I haven't done any of that up here. I don't know if it's like the time of year or what, but it's just been. I think people are more indoors right now than
Probably.
they are.
Yeah, you're right. I've always seen pictures of those. I guess I've never been, so I think that'd be kind of fun to. That'd be kind of fun to.
Yeah.
Big table with food all over it. And, yeah.
You can't beat it. Crab, shrimp. Yeah.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Oh my gosh. So I went to Boston for the first time last year in 2017, and the lobster rolls were unbelievable.
No, that's one of my favorite foods here. And I mean, here they have like this place, Luke's Lobster, which I know that they have like quite a few of them out, and they've been really good for lobster rolls. But I think up here, the biggest things are like, of course, the crab and probably oysters is another surprising one up here for them.
Awesome. That's coming from Florida. I mean, you know what you're talking about, right? That's So tell me about, there's good and bad with all of this, right? It's a career like any other. You take the good and the bad. What's the best part of travel nursing? What's the most difficult part of travel nursing?
So for me, I'll start with the most difficult part has been just being away from my family because, so far they're not with me yet. So that can get kind of rough. You want to be out with your family, do things, see new things, explore. So I think that's been the most difficult for me. I'm pretty good as far as, meeting new people, getting acclimated to a place and all that. So I think the best thing for me is just the people that I meet. This hospital has probably been one of the better hospitals that I've worked at. I mean, I love the people, love the staff. It's been a great place to work. So I think just getting new ideas on how to do things from the different hospitals, I think that's gotta be one of my favorite things.
Yeah. Have you always been in the ER? Did you start in a different specialty?
Always been in the ER, always and forever. Yeah.
Oh, would you try something else? I mean, is that something that you give another specialty a shot, or?
I mean, I keep thinking about that, and that's something I sway back and forth with a lot. But I'm like, I don't know. I think at this point, I'm just used to the adrenaline of and the constant go, and I don't know what else I could do to.
That would be tough. If you're used to, I mean, I've worked with a ton of ER nurses in the 14 years that I've done this. And that's the one thing is they want that, on the go all the time type of thing. Almost like the high stress, but you get used to it, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah, you get used to it until you break and then you get back up and you do it all again.
Yeah. It's no different than any other career, right? I mean,
yeah, exactly.
You're saving lives and that type of thing. I completely understand that and totally respect that. But yeah, you go until you break and then you start over and right.
Yeah, you pick yourself up by the bootstraps and keep on rolling.
Yeah.
And, it takes you a couple of days, weeks, months to remember why you're doing what you're doing, but then you get back into it and you keep going.
And you go again, right?
Yep.
So I guess this is the last question for you, and I love this question a lot. If you could, or what was the one lesson through all of this? Nursing career, just travel nursing, you name it. The one lesson is probably taking you the longest to learn.
The lesson that it's taken me the longest to learn, well, especially I don't know if it's just being in the ED or if it's being a nurse in general, but we're always wanting to take care of our patients and provide the best care we can for them. A lot of times we forget that we can't take care of other people unless we take care of ourselves first. So that's been my biggest lesson that I've come to learn is sometimes I got to take that step back, and I got to take care of me before I can continue taking care of other people.
I've experienced that a lot, actually, through my career working with nurses. Is the very last person that a nurse is going to take care of is themselves.
It's ourselves, absolutely. So
yeah, that could be tough. That could be really tough on the road. I absolutely could. And especially since if your wife's not there, right? I mean, if that's the one person you would rely on.
So it's a lot of FaceTime.
Yeah.
So I'm thankful for that. Thankful for Skype. So.
Yeah. So when you get after this, when is this contract over for you then?
This contract ends for me February 10th. So I'm actually coming up close. I only have about 3 more weeks to go.
So Stephanie needs to get to work then and find you that next contract.
Oh, she's been working. She's been working hard. Good.
That's good. I figured she was, but that's good.
Yeah.
So then are you going to go back to Florida for a while, get your wife, and then head out, or?
So generally when I go around, I have an RV that I take with me. But up here, that's not really a thing. So I had to do like an Airbnb to stay. So after this one, driving back to Florida, hooking up the RV, packing up, and going wherever next.
And then going wherever. Well, I said that other was the last question. I'll make this one the last question then. RV, we do a ton of that here. Like we have our own, we have an RV Facebook page, which is just run by nurses that are in RVs traveling throughout the country. Like talk about that a little bit and, kind of what you're looking forward to when you take the RV out and, what pitfalls that you might see coming.
One of my favorite things about taking it with me is that that's my home. It's just not in a set location, but it's got all of my pictures, all of my, everything that's for my comfort. Of course, there are the downsides to it. Especially winter coming up north, it cannot be the best insulated sometimes. So, like when I was in North Carolina last year, I had it with me, and sometimes 40 degrees inside the camper when I'd wake up. It makes for a cold shower.
I bet, yeah. So my family and I, we would do that just like on the weekends for fun and then that type of thing. And if you go early in the season, especially up here in the Midwest, you go early in the season and you're right, it's freezing.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But in general, I can't complain. It's definitely my favorite way to go. I'll take that over a hotel or over like an Airbnb any day.
Yeah, I don't blame you at all. You're right. Because it's your space. It's something that just is strictly for you. You control everything there, right? Where you go, that the RV park, that type of thing. So,
absolutely.
Yeah, I could totally see why. Well, Shaughn, thank you so much for being with us being on with us today. I really appreciate it. So, hopefully, by the time this airs, Stephanie has found you your next that next contract, and hopefully it's down south somewhere and it's warm for the RV.
Yeah, and that's definitely what I'm looking forward to.
Awesome, Shaughn. Well, thank you so much, and we'll see you out there on the road.
I'll see you later. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.